Nunchucks are not fast, but you need to understand what I mean when I say that.
Hello there, I'm Master Trainer Jade, and I'd like to give you some feedback on the videos you're doing about nunchucks versus sticks. First off, I want to congratulate you on the size of your nunchucks. I mean, those are extremely long chucks. And I guess, size does matter in certain areas. But I want to say that most people don't carry around chucks that long. Secondly, when you're in combat, we do not use chucks in combat by holding it here near the end of the string here. We hold it out here. And if you didn't know, it's because if you're holding it here, you're minimal reach. You have very minimal reach. But if you're holding it out here, it's a lot more reach.
Yes, you can strike in quick succession, but very few of those strikes had full power.
In full combat, you don't hit someone like this in succession. It just takes one strike and it's done.
In actual fact, whenever you want to do a proper strong strike with nunchucks, you have to reset and put them back in a backwards position where you can really put the force in.
Again, if you hold your chucks like this, yes, you're going to need to strike with your chucks from this position, and it's because you're holding it here. Now, there are a lot of other positions in combat nunchaku. For example, here we are like this, and my chucks are not behind me, they're in front of me. You can hold it like this. There's multiple ways of holding nunchuck and striking without having it behind me like you have in your video.
And then if you're trying to hit hard with nunchucks, the speed suddenly isn't there. Remember, as soon as you start to hit fast with them, the power gets sucked out of those strikes and they have barely any stopping power.
I don't think you've ever been in a combat with someone who knows how to use nunchucks properly. Yes, if you're holding it that way, you're not getting so much power and speed. But if you do it the correct way, it's going to be hard to stop that, and there's speed there and power there.
Contrast that with the stick, where you can actually go to town really fast, and these strikes have way more power.
Well, that's really interesting, because when you first started, you're striking here, and you're going to tell me that there's a lot of power by doing this. And then when you're saying that, oh, you have power, it just seems like you're swinging it way back here, just like you were saying about nunchaku. Take a look at your video. Besides, there's no power back here than here. And by doing this, you're going to get pretty tired pretty quickly.
Seriously, can nunchucks actually match this speed and power from this position?
I mean, compared with the stick from this position, of course they can. You just have to know how to use them.
The most powerful strikes with the nunchucks, you have to start with them in a position where they're kind of held back, like so.
So that's misleading information. This is not the only position that you can get power from, or from this, as you're showing in your video. And again, I want to stress, combat nunchaku, when you're fighting with nunchucks, you don't fight nunchucks using it here in this position. Your hands should be down here at the very edge, and I can't stress that enough. Your hands must be down here. And so, as you were saying that this is the only position of power, no. This is a front guard in combat. Basically, what you want to do is you want to step forward or leap forward and rain down power and thunder from the heavens onto the coconut that you're about to crack. Like this. There's also the head swipe. Again, you're starting from a different position, a lower position, which is the side guard, and you're swinging here. So, to tell me that there's no power and speed into that, I think you're going to have to reevaluate that.
So don't be fooled, even though they can look fast, there's a lot more complexity to that claim than people say. Especially with how hard they're supposed to be able to hit. I've got a full video breaking down the physics of how hard nunchucks can actually hit, comparing them to sticks.
Again, Shad, if you're doing the test, do it properly. Hold the nunchucks the way they're supposed to be held when you're striking the target. I can constantly see you hold it here at the very edge. Of course, you're not going to get as much power here because you're also holding the stick down here. Why don't you try holding the stick like right there in the middle then, and see if you get as much power as you're holding the nunchucks right there. So hopefully this helps you in your next test and in your future videos about nunchaku versus stick. I'm Master Trainer Jade, and if you ever need me to come by and do nunchaku testing with you, I'd love to. We could spar a little and see how you'd fare against nunchucks versus your stick. Stay safe out there. Stay awesome. Thank you.